Alright, it's time for more Tekken 8 Season 2 changes. This time we're going over everyone's favorite Final Fantasy character, Clive. In Season 2, they want to enhance his mid-range neutral, and in reading that, it just gives me the impression that the developers are smoking something that expired before Season 1. Because Clive doesn't really struggle at any range. He has prominence still, which has a bit of distance to it. You still have back 2, which has quite a bit of distance to it. And you still have back 1+2 that can hit from basically range 4. What struggles with range does Clive have? Anyway, let's get into the changes with a new move called Deadly Embrace. This is quarter circle forward 1. This move is just so goofy. Look at this is a 20 to 31 frame mid. The further back you are, the more the startup frames. On hit, up close, it does 5 damage and knocks down for +8, as you can see. It also wall splats. Such an awkward move. You can charge it, making it much slower for 10 damage on hit and further knockback. On block, this does 1 chip damage at its -12. If you charge it, it now deals 2 chip damage at its -5. Its move is just so goofy. But if you're at a bit of a distance, this move now grabs the opponent. It pulls them towards you, giving you +3 with 5 damage. Oh, and 10 chip damage as well. We can't forget about that. If they're blocking when you grab them, it deals 11 chip damage. The charge version on hit basically is doing the same thing, except now it does 10 damage and 15 chip damage. If the opponent was blocking, it does 17 chip damage. Such a weird move. You can also go into Phoenix Shift by holding forward or pressing 4. Oh, well, I can't time that for some reason. Yeah, there we go. We can Phoenix Shift out of this. This move just is... It's so stupid. I don't know what to say. This move is actually just kind of dumb. We also have another new move called Staff of Judgment. This is done with forward 1+2 or running 1+2. It's a 20 frame mid that does 22 damage and is +9 on hit. On block, you get 6 chip damage and it's +4 on hit on block for some reason. On counter hit, it's a fucking rage art for some reason. Why does he have this? Why does he have this? This kind of makes, well, to me at least, this makes forward 2 kind of obsolete. Like, yes, this is a launcher, but this is a launcher that deals a lot of grey health, whereas this is just flat 60 damage on a counter hit. Like something we need to understand here is Clive at some point in a match is probably going to have Zantetsuken, which deals a shit ton of damage at level 5. You also have a Heat Smash. Okay, yes, this is on counter hit, but you're dealing roughly like 55 damage or so, something around there, right? You also have a Rage Art every round. And now you have this on top of that. Why does he basically have 3 Rage Arts? Or if you want, this could count as a Heat Smash. But why does he have 3? Also, speaking of Zantetsuken, you can now do it out of Phoenix Shift. I could do the input for some reason. What is happening? There we go. But yeah, you can now do that out of Phoenix Shift. Sidestep 1+2 can, for some reason, go into Crouch. Not entirely sure what they want to do with that at +2 on block. By the way, there's launches on hit, so Unless there's something I'm not remembering about Clive, there isn't anything good in terms of a combo from going into crouch here. So that's a thing for some reason. Forward 2-2, 1+2. That wasn't 1+2. What happened there? Forward 2-2, 1+2. Now gives more Zantetsuken gauge on hit and on block. Down back 1 now deals 5 chip damage on block for some reason. And it is also neutral. This was -8 before. Remember, this has a follow-up attack that does not come out on block. Did that need chip damage and to be neutral? 3+4 as well as, well, when this parries, and 3+4 when you're in this fly stance. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Divine Wings or something. Wings of Light, I can't remember. But the 3 from this input, which is basically what the parry does anyway. The distance between you and the opponent is actually reduced on hit. But this move seems to be bugged. Maybe I'm missing something, but this actually isn't parrying lows. Like again, maybe I'm missing something here. What just happened? You see this, right? Like, yes, we are -18, but that is a low, and we are in the stance that auto parries lows. For some reason, if we hell sweep here, you see that we get the parry. And here, how exactly am I being hit by the hell sweep? What is going on here? This is very confusing. Like again, I think there's something bugged with this move. Season 2! Forward 2 now wall splats on hit and is now 19 to 20 frames instead of the 21 to 22 frames that it was before. They also gave it more forward reach and tracking for some reason. Why? This move should remain linear. Updraft 1 is now -5 on block. It was -12 before. Also, if you do the just frame version, it's -4. While Rising 1-2 is now -12 on block. This used to be -13. 1+2 Carts got a slight damage nerf. This was dealing 24 damage before and is now dealing 21. Back 1+2, everyone's favorite range 4 Power Crush, got buffed, expanding its hitbox downward so it's less likely to whiff against certain characters. I assume maybe Xiaoyu in Art of Phoenix was going under this. 1 Forward 2, which is this move. Apparently they fixed an issue where the second hit would connect if you tried to crouch guard after the first hit. But again, this move seems to be bugged slightly. Because sometimes it's going to give you the crouch block, and sometimes it's going to jail. I have no clue why, but there you saw it jailed, and there it ducked. We ducked again. They're jailed. Oh. They're jailed again. Season 2 is just full of weird shit. Let's just put it that way. I think at this point we all know Clive was a bit too strong on release, and his initial nerfs were basically a slap on the wrist, so I was expecting him to actually get toned down more. Instead, they decided to buff him and give him another really good move. Like, this is a really good move. Plus on hit, plus on block. Fucking Rage Art on counter hit. Why does he have this? And they gave him this move without toning down his other moves. For example, Prominence. Still a really good move. Up close, basically tracks. You can't step it to either side. Remember, that's still a heat engager, so even though it's -12 on block, if you're already in heat and you use it, all your risk is gone. You're not gonna be punished for that. On top of that, still has decent reach to it. Back 2 still reaches from like range 2.9 something into guaranteed follow-ups on hit. That's still a really good move. Back 1 plus 2 still connects from frickin' range 4, which basically makes it safe on block. Why? And let's not forget that it has this wonky fucking tracking to it still. Like, they could have toned down these moves if they want to give Clive this. Like, what does he need to have this as well as all the other shit at the same time? I honestly feel like Clive needs to get some nerfs and to be toned down a bit. I don't care what the contract or whatever agreement they have with the Final Fantasy devs say they need to do with the character. He's in Tekken as a guest character. He does need to be toned down a little bit to match the other Tekken characters. But you guys let me know what you think about Clive's changes. So if you liked, leave a like, dislike if you didn't. Again, why does Clive have another Rage Art move? I mean, it looks cool, but why the fuck does he have this?